Hello. I'm currently reading A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth and thought I'd casually chat about it, an update of sorts as to where I've reached in the book, what I've understood until now, and what I think about it. I thought this would be a fun exercise to do to talk about the book as I'm reading it because it's quite a lengthy book. And I've read until page 212 of the book, which is the end of part 3. So, just a quick disclaimer, if you're someone who is planning on reading this book in the future, I don't think you should watch this video because it might contain spoilers. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the number of characters in this book, which is a lot. But the family tree in the beginning of the book was quite a help. And initially, it seemed a bit overwhelming when all the characters were being introduced. But I think now I've finally gotten a hang of it as to who is related to whom. It's obvious from the title what the book is going to be all about. So, the book is about 20-year-old Lata Mehra, who's a literature student studying at Brahmapur University, and her mother, Mrs. Rupa Mehra, trying to find a suitable boy for her for Lata to marry. So, one thing which I found interesting was that in the first and the second part of the book, even though we had been introduced to Kabir's character, I found myself rooting for Lata and Man to be together. Now, I don't know if this is because I genuinely want Lata to end up with Man, or because up until that point in the book, Man was the only potential prospect for Lata who had been introduced in great detail, and he had this charming bad boy sort of vibe going on about him. But obviously, Man isn't thinking about Lata. He's completely infatuated or in love with Saida Bai at this point in the book. And the third part, obviously, is all about Lata and Kabir's courtship. Kabir trying to strike up a conversation with her, trying to get her to go out with him, and they fall in love with each other. But Lata is oblivious to the fact that Kabir is a Muslim guy, which she finds out through her best friend Malti towards the end of the third part, which completely crushes her because she knows that she likes Kabir and Kabir likes her, but she also knows that her mother wouldn't approve of an interreligious marriage. And one thing which is quite evident is that even though the book is about trying to find a suitable boy for Lata, there's a lot of stuff happening in the background. For example, we know that this is a post partition, post independence India. This is the early 1950s, and Mahesh Kapoor, who is Man and Pran's father, is a minister, and there are talks of this Zamindari bill, which is being discussed and what the consequences of that might be. So there's all this other stuff going on in the background with other characters that are involved in the book, which I think might play a very important role, obviously, to propel the story forwards. So, at the end of the third part, when Mrs. Rupa Mehra finds out about Lata and Kabir, she books 2 tickets to Calcutta to stay with Arun, who is Lata's brother, and she wants to take Lata out of Brahmapur and away from Kabir, which I think is interesting because now we're moving on to the next, thing in the book. And I wonder if each part of the book is going to be about one boy, because the first part of the book was like a broad introduction to all characters in the book. The second part was mainly about Man and what he's been doing, and the third part was about Lata and Kabir. So I wonder if there's going to be another guy in the story now when we move to Calcutta, and that would be something really interesting to see. And then there's all this stuff going on parallel to Lata's life, like Pran is struggling to make a place for himself in the university. Meenakshi has just melted Mrs. Rupa Mehra's husband's gold medals to make jewelry for herself. Arun is as proud and arrogant as ever. Savita is pregnant, and all this interesting stuff with the other characters, which I think it will be nice to see how it all plays out for each and every character in the book. And the last thing I want to talk about is BBC has made a show on the book which releases soon, and I'm going to watch the show obviously, but after I finish reading the book, I have certain, when you read a book, you've already imagined the characters to be a certain way, to look a certain way in your own head. And I don't know if, I don't know, I just don't want to be disappointed after I read the book and then watch the show, which is a big fear that I have right now. But I'm hoping for the best. And yeah, that's it, I guess. That's my 212 pages update. And I don't know how long it will take for me to finish this book, but I'm so excited to read more. And yeah, that's it. Bye.